What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we continue the Gauntlet Series for the Sony WH-1000XM6 headphones, and their opponent in this one will be the Bose QuietComfort Ultra headphones. Now, this should be a really great head-to-head, one of the most requested ones I've had, so I can't wait to get started on this one. So, as always, I'll leave links in the description of unboxing videos for both of these if you're interested in the price, specs, and app breakdowns for both. I'll also leave links where you can pick up one or both of these sets of headphones. All right, so as usual, let's go ahead and jump into this head-to-head. All right, we are back in. We're gonna start off with the QuietComfort Ultra headphones. We can see we are in the Bose app. They definitely got to work on this one or get these guys migrated over to that QCE app that they got, because I literally had to fight to get this one to work. Anyway, I digress. Let's go ahead and show you my EQ settings for the QC Ultra. That's my EQ settings there. Now we can go ahead and we'll go into the modes. We're going to go ahead and pop these guys. I like immersion because you feel like you're really getting into the song. So we're going to go ahead and go with that. All right, so again, actually, you know what? Let's go into quiet. We're going to do quiet. All right, so we're going to go into that one there. And now let's go ahead and get the camera flip. Oh, there we go. I guess I mixed that up there a little bit. All right, so we got the camera going. I like that. All right, so let's go ahead and pop these guys on. All right, let's go ahead and get our cutaway in. All right, we got the cutaway up. All right, let's go ahead and get into our music here. The wrong way. I should have had this stuff done. I know. All right, I was just checking my screens here, make sure everybody's good. I know I should have had this done. All right, so let's go ahead and we go check our volume level. All right, we're at the orange line. Let's go ahead and get into our first song. Here we go. All right. Nice clarity. Nice soundstage. Very nice. You getting, again, getting the breathing and everything. I'm just trying to pay attention to a couple of things here. Again, very, very clear with the enunciations and everything. The nuance, like I say, the breathing. Inhale before the verse, exhale after the verse. I like the width of the soundstage when it comes to the background vocalists. They sound very clean and clear. Very nice. Very clean. All right. Again, I came off at the beginning kind of warm, but I don't know. Maybe that might have been just me adjusting to the song or something. All right, let's go ahead, pop these off. We're gonna switch over to the. Actually, before we put these on, let's go ahead and let me put my. Let's go ahead and kill that. All right, had to fix my picture-in-picture there, my crossover there. All right, so we'll go ahead and we gotta get the XM6s all powered up. We're gonna go take a quick look into their app. We're gonna make sure they're connected. They are. So let's go ahead and dive into the app for them. All right, there's a questionnaire. I'll deal with that later. All right, so as we know, want to quickly, no. All right, here we go. That's my EQ settings for the XM6s. All right, for the XM6 rather. Excuse me. I do have the spatial sound and head tracking. I did go through that whole setup there. So we got that going on. They also have LDAC turned on, so I'm giving them everything that they got on, as well as the Bose QuietComfort Ultras. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get the camera flip. There we go. That's better. I like that. All right, so let's go ahead and get the XM6 on. Quick test. Make sure we're doing the right thing. All right, we're going to check our volume levels while we're here. All right, let me get that picture cutaway in. All right, so you can see the volume level is as it was. Let me go ahead and show it again. All right, volume level is right at the orange line. All right, so let's go ahead. And we're going to drop into our first song. Here we go. XM6, song number 1. Here we go. All right. Right off the bat, like volume, I don't have to turn them up. I like that. Again, love the clarity of the background vocalist also. Nice sound stage. Again, you're getting that nuance, the breathing. Inhale before the verse, the exhale at the end of the last word in the verse. Getting the popping sound, the B's, the P's, and T's. Very clear. Yeah, sounds really, really good. I love that. I love when they come in together and they're harmonizing now. Sounds so clean. Again, I love the detail provided in these. Also, I did have noise canceling turned on. I just wanted to let you guys know that, as I did with the QC Ultras. All right, so let's go ahead and flip over to our second song. All right, we are back in song number 2, the bass song, E40, featuring T-Pain. Let me go ahead and get the camera flip. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and get our cutaway. All right, so that way y'all can see the actual music here. If you have these songs, join me and listen to these and hear and understand what I'm saying, what I'm talking about when I mention how these headphones sound with these particular songs playing. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right on in. Already clean, punching bass. The low end, the reverb fades away nicely. Again, ripples in the pond. So clean. Yeah, very nice. The T-Pain sounds very clean and clear. The auto tune on the at the high points, the high notes, smoothed out, sounds very nice. Makes it very pleasant to listen to. Very clear. Now we got E40 coming in. Very clean. Oh, yeah. I love that bass. Love it. Very clean. Let's turn it up. Let's turn it up. All right. We're not at 100%, but we want some of that bass. Woo. So clean. Bumping. All right. Let's go back down. I love the fact, no distortion. Let me pause this. In fact, no distortion even at the higher volume levels. The bass just got even better, punched harder. The reverb was just as clean and just flawless. All right, let's go ahead and pop these off. And we're going to put on the XM6s. All right. Whoops, hit the mic. Make sure we snug and secure. All right, we in there. All right, good. Let's go ahead and do a quick test. All right, we got the right ones. All right, so here we go. XM6, song number 2. Ooh, And this bass is hitting. Again, the reverb fades away. It doesn't just cut off. It fades away nicely. Again, T-Pain's coming in. He sounds very clean, very clear. The high pitching sound of the auto tune, smoothed out, sounds good. Oh, very clean. All right, we're gonna jack this one up right now. Here we go. Again, not at 100%, but man, no distortion in the bass. Vocals nice and clear. That reverb still fades away nice. All right, let's go ahead and slide this down. Let's get back. All right. Woo. Again, bass just punches. The clarity in the vocalist on both of them, very nice. I love the fact that the auto tune is smoothed out. It doesn't give you that high tinny sound that gets and hits a nerve and just makes it very uncomfortable for me to listen to. But they covered that. I absolutely enjoy it. All right, let's go ahead and get over to song number 3. All right, we are back in for our final song. As I did in the first song or the first episode of this Gauntlet series, we're gonna do it here for this one and moving all the way through to the end. I went into Tidal and grabbed up Mozart, and we're gonna go ahead and we'll go ahead and rock this one and see how the soundstage and how all the string instruments are represented with the Bose QuietComfort Ultras. And this should be very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, so here we go. Mozart, Suite KV 527. This is going to be great. All right, here we go. So let me get the camera. Hold on. I ain't even got the cameras flipped. I am so excited to jump into this. All right, let's get our cutaway going. Don't mind me. All right, here we go. All right, rail to bat, nice crisp violins, hitting them high notes. Again, definitely showing out the width of the soundstage too. And the cello's in the back, giving that nice little low end. Very clean. I like the violins. I like how crisp they sound, how sharp. But I love the fact that the cello is in the back, just giving that nice little bump on them notes, just nice little rumble. Oh, it sounds so nice. I like the soundstage, the width of it, and the space in between the instruments. Oh, it sounds so clear. All right. Just absolutely love. I love the spacing. I love exactly when I say spacing. Excuse me. I'm talking about as far as when the string instruments were going and you had the cello. The cello sound a little recessed, like it was as if it was a background instrument, but it still gave you that nice thunder when they hit the chords on it. Give you that nice growl, that nice rumble. Sound very clean. Again, everything else was fantastic on it. All right, let's go ahead and pop these off. We're gonna put on the XM6s. Quick test. Let's go ahead and back this up. Whoops. All right. So now we got the XM6s on. This is their final song. Let's get it. Okay. Right off the bat, nice. The saxophone. The string instruments, your violins sound very crisp. Again, the cello in the back giving you that nice little rumble. Now it came up a little bit more, kind of a little bit more thunderous in here. Okay, compared to earlier, it's more prominent now, but we're still focused on the crispness of the violins. Again, soundstage, nice, wide. Man, that violin is sounding so crisp. You can definitely differentiate the two different violins, or is it a fiddle and a violin? I'm thinking they're both violins, just different tunes, but you can definitely tell the difference. Man, it's just the detail was so good. Again, I love the cello on here. I think although the violins and everything were great, they sound very crisp, very just nice, very sharp. I like my favorite is the cello. It gives you that low end boom or low end growl when you needed it on there. Again, sat back like not recessed, but like it was a background instrument. Because when they struck a chord, you heard it, and it was just as loud as the violins and stuff. When they struck that chord, it became more prominent. It was just really sound really good. I think that was my favorite instrument in when it comes to this song. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we'll go ahead and get this cleaned up. We'll come back and talk about these, and we're gonna pick our winner of episode 2 of this Gauntlet Series. Stay strapped in. All right, we are back in, and man, this was a great head-to-head for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. So let's quickly just jump into it and get in. All right, so first song, both of them did a fantastic job with the vocalists, very clean, very clear. However, I think the Sony XM6s is a little louder than the QuietComfort Ultras naturally. He just came off a little bit more louder, in my opinion, at my preferred listening level. Again, this is at my preferred listening level. All right. And then, of course, you've got the background vocalist. Again, nice spacing. Sound stages, both of them were great. They gave them good separation, and they were nice and clear on both of them as well. So they both did a great job on song number 1. But I think the XM6 was a little louder naturally. I think it's a little louder overall naturally. So we're going to just put that to bed there. All right. So moving on to the second song, both of them did a E40. I said the song is E40. You and That by E40 featuring T-Pain, and there's another young lady on there as well. But anyway, they both came out. T-Pain started off very clean, very clear. The auto-tune didn't have that piercing sound to it. I know I mentioned it on both sides of these. I'm going to mention it one more time. I love the way it smoothed it out and just maintained the clarity of the lyrics by T-Pain. Bass thumped on both of these. The reverb, both of them faded away nicely. It was just so good on both sides. And it was just really, really clean. E40 came in. He sounded very clean and clear. It was just a great listen to on both ends of this. And then moving in, excuse me, I'm sorry. Moving into our third song, the Mozart, strictly classical, all instruments yet again. They both did a fantastic job providing the crispness of the violins rather, and then I think one's a fiddle. I don't know. I have to look that up. It just sounds like a fiddle to me. Anyway, I could be wrong, but so for the sake of that argument, I'm just going to call them both violins because I could be wrong in my assumption. Anyway, they both were very crisp. Again, bouncing off each other. You got great detail, good spacing between them. And like I said, my favorite instrument on these was that cello. Came through, and when it hit that chord, you got that nice little low end rumble to it. It just sounded really good. Just enhancing the sound of both violins in that one. They both headphones demonstrated that wonderfully. Again, turned it up in the second song, turned up to a higher volume with the bass song, and there was no distortion with the bass. Very clean, low end rumble was superb on both of these. They just did. It was just a wonderful job. It was a lot of fun just listening to these guys. These guys are really, really close in my opinion. So if I had to choose one of these to go with, Which one would I go with? All right, so let me start off by saying I know a lot of people are going to ask this in the comments. So if you stuck around this long into the video, here's the answer to that one question. Which one has the better noise canceling? All right. In my opinion, I think they are both right there. I think Sony finally caught Bose when it came to noise canceling. All right. I think they're right there at the top. 1A. And when it comes to noise canceling, you can't go wrong choosing one or the other, in my opinion. I think they're both top of the line there. No one surpasses the other one at this point. I don't know what Bose is going to try and do down the road, but as of right now, you're looking at the top tier when it comes to noise canceling. In the headphone, you're looking at the top two rather. You can go 1A, you can go 1-1A or 1-1A. That's where I'm at. All right, so I want to get that out of the way. Now, with that being in mind and everything we talked about, I think I would have to go with the XM6 on this one. I think reason being is they're naturally louder. They give you a little bit more volume than the QuietComfort Ultras by a little bit, but it's definitely noticeable when you listen to both of them. They both give you great volume, but you can definitely tell that slight difference in volume, natural volume, when it comes to the XM6. So they will get the win here, in my opinion, by the slimmest of margins. Everything else, these guys are pretty much a wash, in my opinion. But that one little thing gives the XM6 headphones the edge. So my winner in episode 2 is the Sennheiser. Where am I? What in the world? The Sony WH-1000XM6 headphones. I'm foreshadowing there a little bit. My bad. All right, so if you like what you see, go and hit the like button. If you want to join me as I continue this Gauntlet series, go and hit the subscribe button and notification bell. That way you're notified when videos like this and others drop. And one more thing, of course, everybody knows you cannot sleep on Bose. They just have room to improve in the sound and the volume level. The sound quality is great, but the natural volume needs to be improved. Now that Sony has dropped the XM6s, and they seem to have improved that. So now it's up to Bose to catch up with that. But of course, the noise canceling now they have room at the top for someone else. They have to move over and share that throne with XM6s when it comes to noise canceling. All right, enough of that. And thank you for coming out first off, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.